This one is going to be really very attractive. The subject will be human being, a very popular word that we use to represent ourselves. We call ourselves human being. But I want us to look at this word closely, the word human being. Why is it that we have these two combination, human and being? It is interesting that I project this message and bring our focus to it, because up to now we have only seen the humanity of this word and not the essence, which is the being. We are not human. We are a being, a spirit. So the word that is attached to human, which is the being, it speaks of we being an essence. Our true nature is that essence, that spirit, that spiritual or immaterial part of us that is immortal. That is our true being. But we have considered ourselves to be human. So we elaborate, we amplify the humanity of us and not the being that we are. And this is the reason today why you see many are now focusing, speaking of the weakness and the inability of man. But I choose to speak of man's strength and man's power, because I look at man, in this part of his essence, which is as a being, not as just a human. We are told in the scripture that we are gods. In other words, we are beings, essence, spiritual beings. We are not human. But he said if we live with a consciousness, with the awareness of humanity, we die like one of the princes, And that is why it is necessary for me to bring this subject today and, allow us to really look at these two ways that are combined together. I just want you to look at it. What are you really seeing when you call yourself a human being? Some people have even said that I'm just a human being. You see, he puts the two together without really knowing the meaning of the word being. The being is not just human. The being is an essence, is a spiritual essence, is a force. You see, it is like when you say horizontal line and the vertical line. The word horizontal line speaks of the humanity of man, because from that knowledge, from that awareness, man is always, fighting to achieve, to financially achieve, to materially achieve. He's always in this rat race of trying to be this, be that, only from that awareness of the horizontal knowledge. And in this world, he is never satisfied. In this consciousness, he is never satisfied, because this is called the low part of his being. So the word human is the very low part of the man. Then the being is the high part of him. So to live from the awareness or to live from the knowledge of one's humanity is to live so low, to live from the very low realm. But when you live from the higher part of your being, you live from the knowledge and the consciousness of your being, you live from a high realm, because you are actually a being. The two words is combined because a being is living in a body. That is just who you are. You are a being, but you occupy a body for your physical manifestation. But yet you are not that humanity, which is that human body. You are a being. But the question is, how many of us really know ourselves to be a being? A being is a spirit, an essence, self-existing essence, self-satisfied and self-perfect. A being is something that you need nothing from the outside to attain perfection. You need nothing from the outside to be complete. You are complete on your own self. That being that a man is what we call God, because God is the Father of all spirits. So all spirit hails from him, but yet we are one spirit. But we hail from that one spirit to become many. And that is the immortal personality about a human being, about you. You are an immortal being. You are self-complete, you are self-existent, you are self-perfect in that state of your being, if that knowledge is what a man operates in. So man is completely perfect. But if he operates in the knowledge of his humanity, then he is weak. So he speaks of his weakness, he speaks of his inability, and he's always living from that horizontal line of humanity, trying to achieve this, pursue this, thinking that there will be this amount of accumulation, this amount of gathering of this financial or material resources that will one day bring him satisfaction. And yet he is never satisfied. We look around us, there is no man, there is no record of any man or any person among us that we have seen that have attained satisfaction by the accumulation of material wealth. He accumulates and accumulates and accumulates, and then he is still wanting to accumulate, because the knowledge of one's humanity will never bring anyone to satisfaction. So are the richest man today that we have in our world. Look at the life of the richest man. You attain that position of being the number one richest man, and then you are afraid to lose that position, so you want to acquire more to keep that position. That is another vanity and an elusive pursuit from the knowledge of humanity, or the horizontal line. Then we have the vertical line. The vertical line is that being of a man, the complete and perfect essence that you are. That essence is having all things and is all things. Full satisfaction. That is what that essence is. You are fully complete. And that is that spiritual essence of a man. And there is a knowledge that one should acquire from that identity, that person that you are, that gives you satisfaction. So it is not how many things that you go to achieve. So all of this pursue, house, if I have a good job, if I have a good career, if I have a good this, and none of these things have brought any man, satisfaction in any sense. But knowing who you are is a perfect satisfaction. Knowing that you are yourself complete, because everything comes from you. Everything comes from that you that is complete. And that is why it is needful for you to know. We say that your thoughts are your things, Your thoughts are your things in the sense that everything that you have around you comes from your thoughts. And that force that enable the content of your thoughts to become a reality is your essence. That is your being. That is the being. Because a being has to have the capability to be able to be self-creative and self-productive. So, because you are a being, you contain everything that you need, and you are able to make everything that you need available. Because they are containing you, they come out of you, but yet they do not, complete you or define the you from which all of these things come. So the blindness is to be living by the knowledge of the things that comes out of you. Your humanity comes out of your being, because the being is the one that makes your humanity visible, or make your humanity possible. Without your being, there will not be your humanity or your human part. But without your human part, your being exists. You are an immortal being. You have no beginning, you have no end. So why is this necessary? This is it. It is necessary because if we look at our advertising world today, our media, our schools, we have programmed everything to speak of man's humanity. Just man as a human, just human. Yet, that human part of you is what our media, our technology, our school, our academic lineup are defined and packaged to elevate and increase the knowledge of humanity, of our humanity. But very little is programmed to speak or amplify our being, our essence. So as a result of this, we have brought ourselves so low that our surrounding, our world, portray our low state. The low state that we are in, our awareness is seen in our world, in the chaos, in the hatred, the selfishness, the killing and the war. We see that this can only be possible when a man that is a being is now living from the state of his humanity and not from the state of his spiritual essence. So we see a display of hatred, segregation, division, and high level of selfishness, fleshly motivated desires, oppression everywhere, trying to accumulate to the detriment of another, control over other human beings. Because of our low state, we live from the low state, from the human state. So we've created organizations, we created body, hoping that this body will produce the peace that we need. We have lived We live our life on the mercies of this organization to be able to bring peace to the world. And we have seen that from time past up till now, there is no organization, there is no united body that have been able to assure peace in any sense. But because including the so-called formed body, all living from the humanity aspect of view, they even operate in selfishness. They carry the knowledge of selfishness, this knowledge of hatred and all of this low state human knowledge to attempt to go and negotiate peace. And it cannot work until a man climbs up the ladder into the high state, which is his being, human being. The man is a being living in a body, a human body, but he is a being. He must enter into this awareness of his own being, where he begins to understand that he is self-perfect and self-complete. He begins to understand that he is an immaterial part of that combined body, which is human and being. He is a being that is spiritual and immaterial, an immortal being, having all and is all, consisting all and he is all, full and self-satisfied, irrespective of the things that are outside or physical. The knowledge of these organize him. The knowledge of your self-existence ability takes away selfishness. It opens a sight in you that begin to introduce oneness, where you begin to know that because that revelation does not exclude others. A being is one. Because the being is one, the knowledge that it gives is oneness. You cannot, because a being is a spirit, and spirit is a flow, unity flow, is a united kind of flow. Just the way you have the waters. So even if you have the waters of the world, they are just one water. When they come together, they fuse, they flow and fuse that you don't even identify again which is which. So a drop of water from the ocean, when you return it back to the ocean, it diffuses and enters the ocean without even recognizing where is the drop that I put there. So the nature of a being is a spiritual kind of nature that open a sight that is one. So all being can only see each other to be one. Otherwise, it's not a being. Then it is the humanity part. It is the human part that is working. The human part we see different. I'm different from you. You are from Africa, I'm from Europe, you are this color, I'm this color, you are from this country, I'm from this country, you work there, I work here, I'm rich, you are poor. All of these things will be the result, because that is the humanity part. And that is and that open door for conflicts, and all of the troubles that you will start to experience, because your inside knowledge, your inside awareness or consciousness will have to reflect in your world. That is what we reflect in your world. That is what will be responsible for your drive, the drive of always wanting to accumulate. All your reason of life is just academic work, academic work, money, influence, power, until is gone out of this world. The body, the humanity is gone. And then probably then he will realize that he has never been a human. He is a being, you know. But at that time, he has caused a lot of havoc already in his physical world. So just that he dropped his body. And even he will live a life of what we call sufferhead, because in all of those accumulation, you know, he suffers through the host of. Have you seen people, even the so-called richest men in the world, you know, they're so crushed with this pursuit, this trying not to lose the position of the number one richest man, or trying not to lose the number one best footballer. Every of them, you are pressed so much. The best singer in the world, and then you have everything pressing you, the media pressing you, you know, the production, the department, the producer, and everyone that is responsible, they have pressure on you and pressure on themselves, because you thought that this is your fulfillment. You're thinking that this is your satisfaction, and in the whole process, never, in any sense, satisfied. So, the eyes that the knowledge of you being a being will open in you is a unique kind of sight. It is a sight that enables rest and peace. You are peaceful. You become restful, because you know who you are. You know that it is not this rat race that will fulfill me. You know that it is this, I am fulfilled. You see it? I am fulfilled. Not that I am going to be fulfilled, but I am fulfilled. Now, in my fulfilled state, I am acting on a stage in the humanity body. All of these that you are seeing happening in the physical world. So if I am the observer as a being, using the human form to act on the stage, I will act it better, and I will act it good, because I act from the knowledge of my true state, that I am an essence. So I have a pure sight, so I can play the stage really well. But yet I am not as if in the stage or in the platform, but I am an observer. But in the place of an observer, I control the happenings. I detect, you know, the things that happens at the stage. So the being that you are is an observer, and is responsible for the manipulation of the action in the stage. Then the actions are put right, because in that awareness, in that consciousness, you act better, whether in work, whether in academic, whether in politics, you act better. In other ways, you act peace. You act, you know, love in the platform of your world. So only then you have a peaceful world, because you are acting from the higher dimension, which is the state of your essence, your being. This is responsible for peace. And this continue to wait for the sons of God, because whether we know it or not, we are beings, we are all essence. So even though you're acting from the human stage, it doesn't deny or cancel the fact that you are a being, you are a spiritual being. But the peace that you fight for with the human knowledge is an illusion. You never will get it. But you continue to suffer there, you continue to inflict yourselves with pain and have a horrible world. But you who oppress and the one that you are oppressing, all of you will have a horrible world. Until you are ready to say, okay, now I have to look at me as a being. Only then you will begin the journey of peace. Only then you will begin the journey of a restful world, a fulfilled and a satisfied world. But until then, it will be this section of hell in our world. Hell, because the knowledge that runs it is the humanity knowledge that I'm a human. So if I'm a human, then I'm going to have what I call difference. We're different. It's going to, we're going to start experiencing division and duality, and all of those things that we have today that are responsible for our chaos in our world, the things that steal our peace, because our eyes are eyes of humanity. When we enter the eyes of divinity, which is the eyes of our essence, being, that we are being, we automatically begin to see ourselves as one. That is the unique thing that I really want to sound louder. The knowledge of divinity is oneness. Why is it so? Divinity, divinity or essence or your being cannot see two. Why? A being is a spirit. Now look at the nature of a spirit. A spirit is like wind. Now wind, as we have it in our physical world, is air. The air is one. The air cannot be two. You see, this kind of thing, the English you say uncountable noun, is something that cannot be counted because is one. Its form is one. You see, but you will want to almost see it as many, like the winds are many. No, but in the real sense is one. The air, the water. These are unique things that we use to describe oneness in scripture. In the Bible, when they start saying that, breath, I say that the thing that holds a man's life is breath. But our breath is one. You see, that comes from the being that we are. We don't have two breaths. The breath that sustains people in Europe is what sustains people in Africa or in Asia. So you don't go there and say another kind of air is their breath. Another kind of air is in Europe, so there are different kind of air. It's just one air. So this is the nature of the being that you are. When you wake up in the knowledge of your being, you see one. What it means is that every human being will be one in your eyes. The idea of rich and poor will automatically vanish. We have set our world and arranged it in a way that the arrangement and the structure itself is division. It comes from humanity. You see? So the arrangement have set it as if this word belongs to these people and this one belongs to this and the other one is this. The word of the entire world is for everyone equally. So there is nothing like you accumulating so much riches and you become the richest man in the world. That one comes from humanity. It's a low class of living. You live from just a human class. It's like an animal class because an animal also have this body. But the higher realm, the realm of your being, cannot see this kind of, that has no eyes or no sight to be able to see a rich and a poor, a black and a white, this country and this country, because the idea of this country and this country is already a demarcation, is a division. You cannot see division. So everyone becomes, a people of one world. It is not that it's not that I don't want to see it that way. You can't see it that way because that eye, when it is open, it can't see that. So that is the reason why it is needful for us to begin to live from our essence, the knowledge, awareness, and the consciousness of our essence, our being. We are beings, not human, but the being that is living in a human body. And then the being is acting as if in a stage. But the being is aloof from this function. It's not as if the being is totally involved in the acting. The being is set apart from the action on the stage. Then it acts from this higher knowledge using the human body that is in, because it's going to leave it after some time. The body is going to drop and go to the dust, but the being is forever. So as it's acting, because it acts from this knowledge of its being, it acts a good play or a good drama on the stage. Now, if otherwise you have only the knowledge of your humanity, you act a bad drama, because you have closed the eyes of the being that you are, and then you are living from the eyes that actually does not exist. It's a blind eyes anyway. The eyes of humanity is a blind eyes. You see it? Because at the end of it all, it is thoughts that is, your thoughts is your things. Thoughts means information, is knowledge, because knowledge is what makes the difference. That is why knowledge, information is so powerful in our world today. Information determines your direction. Wrong information is a deadly direction, and the right information, is a safe direction. So when you have the wrong information, it's like having just the information that you are just a human. Then it's a deadly one, and you will see the result in your world that you live. But imagine if the information is right, and the information is of the being that you are, then you are on the right track. And it will be seen in the platform of this drama that you are playing, which is the platform of the physical world. The beauty of it will be seen, proving that your information is right. That means you are dealing with the knowledge of your truth, of your essence. You are not a human. You are a being that is dwelling in the human body. So the knowledge is very important. And this is the reason for my sharing this today. I mean, if you will sit down quietly and analyze what I'm trying to say, you will see how much it is true. Because whether we begin to accept it or we put it aside, it will be waiting for us to come here. We will eventually come and put it on the table and say, wow, this is really what it is. It's no other thing but this. So we have to begin to arrange, the media, the schools, materials, our government, our politics, our law must begin to elevate the knowledge of the being that we are. even our churches. Most of our churches have failed today to focus on the knowledge of the being that a man is. They rather would join the world to speak of man's weakness, man's inability. Man has no weakness, or man is not disabled if the true message is preached, because man is not human. Why focusing on the human message? Focus on the being message. Talk about his strength and his ability, his power, by talking about the being that he is. And you will see the difference, because the being, as I say, the sight that it will open a man is the sight of oneness. And oneness is what the world needs. You will see everyone as you see yourself, so you're not different. There is no segregation. There is no I'm from here or I'm from there. You are this, you are that. Tell me, what do you think will eventually open that kind of sight? It will be the knowledge of your being and not the knowledge of your humanity. Thank you.